I'm live. Hi, this is On Imagination with the Healing Garden. I'm on a thing today. I'm angry. I'm angry, and I'm transferring my anger over into productivity. This is how it's done. All right. So I had this massive. I got to do my thesis. This podcast right now is about my frustration with the educational system and the psychology department. This is me being pissed off in America. And I don't like to do the whole, let's talk about the problem even more. However, there is a right way to talk about a problem and a very wrong way to talk about a problem. In addition to that, there is also there's a reason why we vent. There's a reason why we talk. And knowing the right reason to talk and then doing it consciously and then strategically, that makes a difference. So this is a living role model, living example of how this shit is supposed to be done. I call this exploratory dialogue. Now, what I am looking for is actually something called the point of comprehension. The point of comprehension is literally where truth is. Truth is 100% easily obtained if you have logic. Truth is not a mystery. Truth is not one of those things that's subjective or has an opinion. Truth is not one of those things that's all over the place and everyone's got their... Truth is logic. Logic is the science of finding truth through deductive reasoning and nature. There you go. Deductive reasoning and nature. And when you use logic properly, it actually results in something called common sense because it's truth. So I am an ontological physicist, which is really awesome words for really fucking advanced philosopher who studies philosophy and the metaphysical level where I discuss and study what is real. That is an ontologist. It is literally the science and the study of reality. And in ontology, we study truth because we're studying reality. And we're doing this with metaphysics. Now, that all being said, I use something called exploratory dialogue. Now, the purpose of dialogue is to name the point. That is it. That is it. All dialogue, you're supposed to name the point. The point is the most precious thing in all of the universe. It is a state of mind. It is a mindset, a state of mind. The point of comprehension is that point where you have, it is the place in your mind and in your understanding of the world where things are so logically pure that you know when someone is lying, you know when something doesn't make sense, and you know when something is bullshit. It is literally the point of being a lying and truth detector, which I am. It is an extraordinary place to be. The point of comprehension is what every single one of us is in pursuit of. We are all looking for the point of comprehension. Every time you have a problem, you're looking for the point of comprehension. I'm going to explain why here in a minute. Every time you don't understand something, you're looking for the point of comprehension. Every time you're confused because you've lost the point of comprehension. The point of comprehension is your navigational anchor. It is your anchor to who you are. It is literally relativity. You don't know who you are unless you are in relativity to something. This is math, logic, physics. This is life. This is psychology. This is philosophy and ontology. This is navigation. It is a hardcore, solid fact that if you want to know where you are, you have got to triangulate. Triangulation is a math, logic, physics skill where you use 3 points to figure out where you are. Not 2, 3. In navigation, you have to have 3 points. The first point is the point of origin, where you came from. The second point is your destination, where you are going. And the third point is where you are. This is classic physics or classic philosophy 101, where you are. So it's where you began, where you're going, and where you are. When you have all 3 points, then you are able to estimate, you are able to actually identify precisely where you are located. This is triangulation. Now, there are 2 ways you can do this. The first way is in the material plane. In the material plane, this is so common a thing used that the military uses it. GPSs use it. It's like GPS science. And navigation uses it in the world of nautical stuff. Ships use it. In fact, it's the only way a ship can figure out where it is. People, uneducated people, think a compass is all you need. And this is a problem because a compass only gives you 2 points. A compass gives you where north is and where you are. So you know where you are in relativity to north. Do you want to go north? And people who don't know how to use a compass or how to triangulate actually find this to be a problem. All right, I got a compass so I can find my way. So you pull out your compass, you're lost and you're going, well, I know that that's north. You need 3 points. You need triangulation. So a compass actually does jack and fucking shit for you. People who do navigation know this, which is why we invented the sextant. The sextant is a compass for ships. The sextant, is that what it's called, a sextant? Let me just Google that to confirm. My son says it is. Thank you, Dan. A sextant. It's a sextant. That's it. A sextant. That's it. There we go. This is why I Googled it. Yes. So the sextant uses 3 points. It's a compass with 3 points instead of 1 point. Big. Actually, it's 2. Yeah, it's 2 points as opposed to 1 point. Because ships know that you require 3 points to triangulate your position. So when you get into actual navigation, you get into nautical. Now, let's say for a minute, you're lost in the woods. You've got your compass, so you know where north is. Well, do you know in which direction from where you are in relativity to your location is your destination? And without knowing your destination's relativity to north, you're not going to know where to go. So it's here's north, here am I, your destination is here. So your compass is useless. Whenever I'm on the subway, I have a weird thing about me where, well, actually it's common in New York. We all found this out. I started talking around to people and everyone says the same thing. When you ride in the subway in New York City, or maybe anywhere, you lose your point of origin. You're disoriented. Every time all of us get upstairs to the ground street level, we have to triangulate ourselves. Now, if you're good at this, you can do it almost within a few minutes. Other people have practiced for so long that they're fine. Other people know the streets so well that whatever subway station they get out on, they immediately know which direction they need to go to for what. I can't do any of that. So I actually have a compass because I know when I get upstairs, I know, okay, Hudson is over here. I always put the Hudson on my left. The Hudson has to be on my left. Hudson on my left, and then I find north. As soon as I know, okay, Hudson on my left, there's north, I know where I am. Every time, no matter what. It was so funny. I was there. It was actually a few weeks ago. It was April. It was April 20th. And because I was at the Washington Square Park and someone was like, hey, you want to go on a car ride? And I was like, yeah, I want to go on a car ride. And I never asked them where we were going. All of Manhattan, it never occurred to me to ask, where are we going? I just went, yeah, car ride, because I was high. So I got in the car, we drove, and I was just like, yeah, that is great. And then I went into a bar. We all had fun. We had a party and all that jazz. And then afterwards, I'm like, I'm going to go home. And I had no idea where the fuck I was. I got out of the bar and I just went, my phone died an hour ago. So I had no compass. I had no GPS. I had nothing. I just had me in Manhattan. And I went, I know the street. I love archaeology. So I know the buildings. I know the buildings like the back of my hand. So I said, this is not going to be hard. I'm just going to pick a direction and go and I'll find a building I know. Sure enough, 2 minutes later, I found one. I found Freedom Tower. Literally, I was like, there's Freedom Tower. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing down here? It was great. I'm like, Freedom Tower. That's where I am. So as soon as I saw Freedom Tower, well, that was easy. Okay, Freedom Tower's there. There's Hudson. I knew exactly where I needed to go. I needed to go north. What the fuck was I doing that? I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck I was doing that far downtown. So I'm still like, what the fuck am I doing downtown? Like, really, I never go down to the financial district. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing down here? So as soon as you have that 3-point triangulation, you know where you are. In the abstract, the same rule applies because, after all, this is material that came out of the abstract. This is like abstract original material. And the self exists in the abstract 100%. So, of course, it's going to apply to the abstract, which fortunately is like my space. It's my space. So knowing how to use it in the abstract is different than how you use it here, because in the material plane, you got the sun, you got stars. Maybe we don't have them here in the States. Well, in New York City, and you've got the Hudson River. So you've got landmarks. You have things to orient yourself. In the subconscious mind, you do not have those things. In the abstract, you do not have things. What you've got is the self. And what you have is your perspective. You have the self, and you have your perspective, and you have truth. And that's all you got in the abstract. You've got the self, you've got the truth, and you've got your opinion. That is really it right there. You've got you, the truth, and your opinion. And that's really all you've got. And now that is enough that I can triangulate your position. Perspectives are actually stages of time that permit you certain points of visibility, which means we can triangulate your position because we know exactly where you are with your perspective. So now we have your present perspective based off of your perspective, because every perspective has unique characteristics, which means we can figure out where you are in your mind. The self is your point of origin, who you used to be versus who you want to be. Truth, that doesn't change. Logic is the anchor of truth. So you find truth, you find logic, and boom, you've got the point of comprehension. So that is truth. It is the point. So you can find the point of comprehension. Now, this is the best fucking thing about everything. This is like Mother Nature's cherry on top. Your intuition is 100% a compass that always points to north. North in the abstract is the point of comprehension, truth. Your intuition is always pointing you to truth, which is why people say, always trust your gut. It's because intuition is the compass that's always going, there's the truth. Follow your intuition. That being said, now you just got to define the self, and you have to know which perspective you're in. If you don't know which perspective you're in, that's okay. You've got your intuition. All you need is 3 points. So with these 3 points, 4 if you know your perspective, you're able to navigate and move yourself around however you want. To determine your perspective is going to determine what ethics you have. So the question is, are you ready? Who is your authority? Who is your authority? Authority is actually your perspective. If you say, my mom, well, you are a first perspective. You are absolutely a first perspective. Every first perspective says, my mother. That is the first perspective. If you have a caregiver who decides everything for you, you are first perspective. If you say, the man of the house, my husband, God, my mafia boss, my gang leader, you are in the second perspective. If you are part of a group, clan, tribe, where all orders comes from the head hierarchy of that clan tribe, then you are in the second perspective. If you say me and I'll step on anyone who gets in my way, you are third perspective. You are third perspective. You have found self-authority. If you say the law is the authority, well, you are fourth perspective. If you say, well, how would you guys say it? I got to think about this. The fifth perspectives would say, me, I'm the authority. They would also say, money is the authority. They would also say, society is the authority, but I think for myself. This is the fifth perspective. They would also say, science is my authority. Yeah, you're in the fifth perspective. It's the ability to separate yourself. It's this is the authority, but I've got my own. That's the fifth perspective. There's two authorities. So if you give two answers to this question, you're in the fifth perspective. If you answer the nature, you are in the sixth perspective. The nature is law in the sixth perspective. So there you go. There's your perspectives. Well, there's more than that, but those are the ones to get you started. If you say me, period, just me, you are seventh and higher, but it comes with a caveat, and it's me, but I respect everybody else and everyone is equal to me. We are all our own authority. Now your seventh ethical perspective. The other way you could say that for the sevenths is there is no authority. We all are the authority. That's another seventh. Seventh perspective is where they're going to have like 10 different answers and it's all going to be very philosophical and deep. Welcome to the seventh perspective plus. That's the abstract. But most people are going to say my mother, my tribal leader, me, and I don't care who is in my way. Third perspectives, law, and two answers. And if you give the two answers, me, but everybody else, yeah, you're going to see yourself equal to the law, which is great. It means that you're actually getting closer and closer to self-authority. True self-authority actually is established at the seventh ethic. The problem with the sixth ethics is this is their weakness. This is their challenge. Every perspective has a weakness and a challenge that they have to overcome. Every single one of us. So the problem with the sixth ethic or their challenge is they put everybody else on the pedestal and they turn themselves into dog meat. And their ethical challenge is to learn that they have self-authority equal to everybody else. And once they learn that, they move into the seventh ethic. So once you know your perspective, that gives you a fourth point of reference. And it's literally authority. So really, it's the defined self, it's authority, and it is the truth. And those are your 3 points of navigation when you are inside the abstract. So navigating inside the abstract, the whole purpose of any of this is to get to the point of comprehension. And at the point of comprehension, you understand the truth. When you understand the truth, it allows you to problem solve. It allows you to do problem prevention. Problem prevention, say those words with me. Problem prevention. Problem prevention is something that is not heard of. And I don't know why, but I'm doing a whole thing. I'm doing a campaign. No, I'm not. It's not a campaign. It's like 1/3 of the healing garden is problem prevention. And in order to pull this off, you require logic, communication, problem solving. And we walk you through this is how to do problem prevention. So there's problem solving, and then there's problem prevention. And I really want to put this down in this kind of a light. Problem solving is the art of putting out fires. So you're the fireman or the fire person with problem solving. And you could also just prevent the fire. So there's also fire prevention. But our society doesn't do either one of these. We let it burn. We're Nero. That's what it all. We all have Nero's problem. We're all just playing the fiddle while Rome burns, going, well, there's nothing I can do. Yeah, we're all Nero. So you are either Nero, you are the fireman, or you are the person walking around going, we're going to learn about stop, drop, and roll today. Have a fire escape plan. So that's it. And you're going to have problems in life. Actually, you don't have to have problems in life. You can navigate around those and prevent them from happening to you 100% of the time. It's called mathematical projection and problem solving. So when you are choosing where you're going to go, what kind of a life you want to have, you are talking about the quality of your life. And that is all about your standards, your standards. So you got to figure out your standards. And then this is the big one, is you choose your standards, and then comes the big question, how? I want to talk about the question how, because the word how is easily the biggest problem in the world. It is easily the biggest problem in the world, because it's amazing how many people go, I don't know how. Problem solving. That's problem solving. Problem solving is literally the solution to the word how. It is the science of how. That's it. Problem solving is the science of how. There you go. I love math. Okay, so there you go. Problem solving is the science of how. So if you don't know how, you gotta problem solve it. That's what it does. And you can learn problem solving. It's in logic. You learn it through logic. So anytime you have a problem, I don't know how. Well, problem solve. Problem solve. But are you Nero? Are you Nero? Like, we're going to do this. Are you Nero? Or are you the fireman? Or are you fire prevention man? So that's it. That's it. Those are your options. And we have a society of Neros, all of them going, I don't know how. I'm going to go get the violin. Don't be Nero. Don't be Nero. I'm trying to figure out I have my own challenges. I needed to do a podcast just on the challenges of Anna. And because my challenges are interesting. I have very interesting Anna problems. I love Anna problems. Anna problems are the best. Anna problems are the best. Anna problems are like, how am I going to calculate all of this thing so that 12 different types of personalities can understand all of the stuff that I'm trying to say? Because I have 12 different languages, all of whom speak different languages of English. Okay. That's an Anna problem. That's an Anna problem. I need to do a podcast just on Anna problems and then use it as an example to show you how shit gets done. So figuring out if you've been a Nero, a fireman, or fire prevention is really, 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 really different. That's really, really different. That's it. There are 3 types of people. Are you Nero? Are you the fireman? Or are you that dude who walked around in the 80s teaching stop, drop, and roll to everyone because baby boomers really got things out of hand with fire? What the fuck were they doing in the 60s and 70s? I remember this. I remember this. Do you remember in the movie? Oh, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. National Lampoons is one of the movies. And the other movies from the 60s and 70s was A Christmas Gift. Was that it? With and you get to see the electrical outlet with like the 18 plugs into the outlet in the chains of all the electrical plugs. And fires were all over the place. That by the time the 80s rolled around, they went, okay, we really need to do something here. And some genius, true genius, said, how about education? Maybe education will fix the problem. And they did. And it did. And we saw a massive decline in fires occur because people got smart. Because of that dude who said, maybe we should come up with a catchy, people-friendly concept called fire prevention. And we'll use something friendly for kids like stop, drop, and roll. Yeah, that's it. So this is problem prevention, which is pause, think, and plan. Yeah, I love it. Pause, think, and plan. Pause, think, and plan. This is problem prevention. And then there's a whole bunch of people walking around going, problems always happen in life. They're going to happen. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't happen in life. They don't. There's a whole lot of people out there who don't have problems. Problems are not a fact of life. You have been lied to. Problems are not a fact of life. Problems are something that happens to uneducated people who don't know about problem prevention. That's like going, fires happen in life. Just fires are going to happen. Just accept it. No, don't fucking accept it. Get smart. Just get smart. That's it. So I don't know who started the rumor, and that's it. We need to call these they are the professional rumors. These are the rumors that are spelled by the professionals who actually knows this shit and should probably not say this shit, but professional rumors. So the professional rumors are everyone's got problems. No, they don't. No, they don't. There are a whole fucking lot of problems. And then there's people going, for instance, I don't have problems. My problems are challenges. I don't have problems. I have challenges. I have trials. And I actually get very excited when I have mine because, oh, it's a party over here. When I get a problem, I'm going, yes, learning opportunity. A problem is a learning opportunity. And I love to learn. So that's it. In my brain, there is no such thing as a problem. What I have is Mother Nature's classroom. That's a problem. It's Mother Nature's classroom. So, and I love it when she teaches me, I love you. So whenever I have something come up, I hear a bell in my head, ding, 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 it's time to go to class. I'm like, yeah. This is a thing I literally do in my home. My children are like, Mom, my kids live with a living theatrical stage person. Like I studied Shakespeare, and there's two truths that I learned in the world. The first truth is this: Jesus speaks in metaphor. The other truth is this: Shakespeare talks literally. All those dipshits who told you that Shakespeare speaks in metaphor, no, he doesn't. Shakespeare spoke literally. Literally, to thine own self be true. That's not a fucking metaphor, people. To your own fucking self be true. Not metaphorical. Oh, goddamn fucking idiots. Okay. All right. That's what happens when dipshits decide to teach who don't know a goddamn thing about English. Now, when it comes to all the life is a stage, that wasn't a metaphor. That was literal. Every fucking thing that man said was literal. Shakespeare lived in the abstract. When you live in the abstract, what you say in the abstract is literal. The real definition of literal is true to your actual truth or told in code. So either you're speaking in code or you are speaking truth. If you're speaking code, it's because you're trying to communicate with someone on the other side of the mirror. So imagine Alice in Wonderland. There's the looking glass. Which side of the glass are you on? Because we're not all on the same side of the glass. Did you know? No one knows this shit. Welcome to the abstract. You got to figure out which side of the glass you're on. So there's a few authors out there who are grossly misunderstood, and poor Carol Lewis is one of them. So you are on a side of the looking glass. There is side A and there is side B. Now, here's the fun part about Alice in Wonderland. Wonderland is the material plane. That's what people don't know. Wonderland is the material plane being translated by somebody who lives in the abstract plane. So when someone who lives in the abstract plane, Alice and Carol Lewis, look at something like the material plane, it looks like Wonderland because Carol Lewis lived in the abstract plane. So knowing, in order for language to make sense, the very first thing you have to do is figure out which side of the mirror you are on. You have to figure out which side of the mirror you are on. If you don't, you're not going to know if the person is speaking literal or metaphor. There is the false bullshit that we're all on the material plane. No, we are not. No, we are not. Carol Lewis is on the abstract plane. The people who did the Matrix movies, they live in the abstract. Shakespeare lived in the abstract. Christ. I got to think about that for a minute, because between Christ and Shakespeare, see, I got to translate it from abstract, but you're probably in the material. So I got to reverse this. Most people who listen to me are in the material, so I got to translate it. So when I say literal, for me, it means of the abstract. But for me, it's literal abstract. So there's literal abstract and there's literal material. You see where I'm going with this? There is literal abstract and then there is literal material. Shakespeare spoke literal abstract. There. Shakespeare spoke literal abstract. Christ spoke metaphorical. You beautiful man. Material, which means he spoke literal abstract. That's it exactly. That is it exactly. But you can translate it. You can translate it. So Shakespeare spoke literal abstract is not the same thing as metaphorical material. They are four languages. There are four languages. There are four languages. We're going to get really deep into this shit. So there's English. God, I love language. I love linguistics. This is like a whole nother level of language. This does not exist anywhere else but in Pythagorean psychology. You're not going to find this anywhere else. You got to study ontology to know this shit. There's English. Now, you can plug in any language you want at the top. I know English, so that's one we're going to go with. And then you have the literal abstract. Oh, why am I doing it here? Because I need to see it, but you also need to see it. So I got to transfer all this over to you on the whiteboard. On the whiteboard. All right. I am still trying to figure out how to integrate all of the parts of me, which is weird because it's the dichotomy of me. It is the irony of dichotomy. And many of us do not know how to do it. So I'm in the process, this is an Anna challenge, is trying to figure out how to integrate my dichotomy, because I have some really fucking weird dichotomy about me. All right, so we have abstract, we have literal, abstract. So when you say literal, you have to establish if you're talking literal abstract or literal metaphor. And then you have metaphor abstract. By the way, this is why communication is a problem. And the reason why this is the case is because the point of truth is different. There's a point of truth or the point of comprehension, which is over here. And this is based off of the self as authority and point of origin. This is why we were talking about navigation earlier. It's because you can't do this if you don't have the right point of origin. Well, okay, so this is where the law of man, well, let's just do it, and the Holy Roman Empire. Nope, we're going to do it. Thomas Hobbes. Lizzie, who is the other dude who created our government? Was it Locke? Hobbes and Locke, right? Thank you. So there you go. That is our point of truth. God, that's so disgusting. That's like, oh my God. Okay. So there you have it. Your point of origin. I am not going to get into why these three things are the point of origin for the material plane, but they are. They 100% are. The entire society revolves around the Holy Roman Empire's educational system, the Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. The world is fucked. There you go. So when you are in the material plane, you are basing your point of origin off of those three things. When you are over here in the abstract world, you are basing it off of the point of truth and comprehension, the self as authority, and the point of origin, which is your point of origin. And there you have it. So 100% of all information that comes out of anyone's mouth in the literal material plane is based off of the point of origin that is the Holy Roman Empire educational system, Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. If you grew up in the Eastern culture, I cannot help you. I have not studied anything about Eastern culture because that's not part of my, I have zero logical data about it. I just don't know. So I do not know. Like if you were born in China or Japan, or I just don't know. I would have to sit down, have a long conversation with those people and analyze sociologically where their core point is. And I just don't know what it is. I don't even want to guess. I really don't want to guess. I really don't want to guess because I just have so little data on it. So that being said, I need to clarify Western mind. I really need to clarify Western mind. Western mind. Now, this is the US only. And again, US only. This is all of the Western culture. There you go. So that's it. 100% of what you say is coming off of those three things. Whereas in the abstract, it's based off of the point of truth, which is logic, and the defined self. I need to clarify, it is the defined self. There you go. So there it is. Now, the other thing we use over here is science, which is logic, math, and physics. And I will be the first to tell you, those are abstract concepts. And there you have it. Those are abstract concepts. Those are abstract concepts. Which is why they're in the abstract. So there you have it. Superstition. Superstition means something completely different than you were taught because your education came from the Holy Roman Empire educational system. So before you get upset that I'm calling it superstition, you need to Google superstition and actually look at the etymology and the history of the word superstition before you get upset. When you come out of the Holy Roman Empire educational system, oh, good God, is that like a whole, it's a thing. So this is the first layer or the first stage of language. You have the language itself, which is English in this case, for example. And again, you can plug in any language you want. And then after that, you have the literal abstract versus the literal material. You have the metaphor abstract versus the metaphor material. And then the next level after that is going to be perspective language, which is a beautiful thing. Before perspective language, you're also going to have, see, it's actually a cocktail. You have perspective language, but you also have I don't have a name for it yet. I haven't named it yet. I've defined it, but I haven't named it. I never named it. Why didn't I name this? It's a spectrum. Let's call it something. It needs a name. All right, so this is everything that's going on linguistically when you talk to somebody. This is really complex, isn't it? I'm looking at it going, yeah, this is the breakdown of the science of what's going on in everybody's head. So when I speak to somebody, this is what I'm actually doing. This is how Anna's brain works. This is what I see when I speak to somebody. This is the linguistical formula I use whenever I talk to somebody. This is what's going on inside my head. So, okay, they're speaking English. One obstacle done. Are they on the material side or are they on the abstract side? Okay, they are on the material plane. The material plane, by the way, boo, right here. This tells me what plane they are on. So I have to first decipher their perspective language. After I decipher their perspective language, it allows me, so perspective languages first. That's a really good, Anna, that's not how physics works. I know. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. So perspective language. There we go. All right. And then we've got this lovely thing down here, the artist, the communicator, the scientist, language spectrum. Oh my God, the language spectrum. And then we have the era. Oh, we have the era. See, my era, I have a problem because my era, well, like, no, I got to think about this. See, this is where it gets to be a cocktail. I got to think about this. We're going to call it influence. It's physics. It's the mirror repetition response. Exposure, just like in film. It's a camera. It really is exposure. Camera. Projection science, projection physics. Like in physics. Our minds are just physics. And when you understand physics, you go, holy fucking shit, it is the subconscious mind. Uh-huh. Really fucking cool. Which is why we say exposure. All right, so here we go. So this is what's going on inside of my brain every time I speak to anybody. This is called translation. English is just English. That's what we call the platform. That's the stage. That is the equal footing where we're all going to meet. So we're going to meet on English. That does not mean we're going to understand each other. That just means we've entered the stage of equal footing. Perspective language is going to tell me if you are a literal abstract thinker or a literal material plane thinker. And it's going to tell me what language you use regarding your perspective. That's going to tell me everything I need to know about you. The next side of all of this is going to be your projection. I want to say no, because this is secondary. This comes first. So what we get with the language spectrum is, are you an artist? Are you a communicator? Are you a scientist? There is a spectrum of, literally think of it like the electromagnetic wave spectrum, the frequency spectrum, where you've got radiation, microwaves, that thing. Think of that, except it's artist, communicator, scientist. Now you're going to be somewhere on the spectrum. Now there's going to be people going, oh no, I'm an artist and a communicator and a... Shut up and sit down. No, you're not. You might be all of those things, but you have to translate the other two into your one language. Look at it. How do you see things in your mind? Do you see numbers? Do you see words? Do you see the scientific experiment and the triangulation of 3 data points to comprehend it? Do you triangulate? Do you see logical proof and word? Or do you see pictures and images? That's the question. If you see pictures, feelings, and images first, you are an artist mind. That is your language. Everything has to be translated into pictures, feelings, images for you to understand. If you are a communicator, you are going to see logic, word, and math first. You are going to see logic, words, and numbers if you are a communicator. If you are a scientist, you are going to have to triangulate. I love scientists. You're going to have to triangulate. If you can't triangulate, then you don't understand. I don't know if I am a scientist or a communicator, and I think I'm right at the cusp because I have to do both. I have to triangulate and I have to triangulate with logic. And if I just have logic, I can't understand. I have to triangulate. No, I think I'm a scientist first, is because I have to triangulate. I have to have point of origin, destination, and where I have to have past, present, future. Just give me past, present, future, and I can figure everything out. I have to triangulate. I have to understand the laws and the rules of the universe in order to triangulate my comprehension of the subject. If you are that person, you are a scientist on the language spectrum, which means everything. You can't look at art without triangulating it. It means that you translate art into triangulation. My daughter and I struggle with this because I triangulate and she's an artist. So she sees pictures, feelings, images. And every time we speak, we have to translate me from triangulation over into artist. She has to find the words to translate picture, feeling, image. And that's it. And then there's other people who are just, they're the translators, where they're able to translate. Really, communicator is translation. That's where they are like, boom. And that's how they see the world. It's extraordinary. I really want to say that the communicator is actually translating. They're the ones who can see both languages and immediately break it down. And because I'm not a communicator with that's not where I am, I'm a triangulation, I struggle understanding pictures, feeling, image. But I know people who are communicators, and they are, they just translate right away. They can see, oh, I understand you and I understand this person. Let me stand here and I'll communicate. Those people amaze me. Oh yeah, the more and more I'm talking about this, the more I'm realizing I am not a communicator. I am a triangulator. I am a scientist. I have to triangulate to understand. It's my obsession. It's a I don't understand. Let me use logic to figure this out. And I use logic scientifically to triangulate my own position. Yeah, that's me. I use logic to triangulate because I'm in the abstract. And because I'm in the abstract, well, I don't use those methods of orientation because it's the Holy Roman Empire's educational system and Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. I don't do that stuff. So the next factor in communication is the exposure for all of the environment. It's the influence. It's your mirror repetition response. So it's what were you exposed to? What perspectives were you exposed to? What region were you exposed to? So now that's going to just turn into a cocktail. That's all the floral, that's the decoration on top of your language. So the problem, so this is what actually is going on inside the logic. This is the language mind. This is the language mind. Now, what people also don't understand is the subconscious mind speaks like this. The identity speaks over here. That's where she is. The identity always speaks as an artist. The identity is the artist. The subconscious mind I know it's logic, but I gotta think. Well, that would put it in communicator. That would be communicator. The subconscious mind is the communicator. And the identity is the artist. The defense is either gonna, that's gonna reflect on what the conscious awareness is. I want to say the conscious awareness is triangulation. I really, nope, it is. It is. That is screaming at me. That is the most logical thing I think I've ever said in all of my life. The conscious awareness, which is why you are lost, because you don't know how to triangulate. There it is. Triangulation. You do it instinctively, but your point of origin is the Holy Roman Empire educational system, Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. I am so sorry. All right, so there you go. There it is. Oh, that explains so much. That's why I call them my life titans. This makes sense. Oh my God, this is so fucking logical. Oh, is this logical? Holy fucking shit, is this logical? This makes so much more sense. Yep. Yep. Your subconscious mind is your logical communicator. Your conscious awareness is your scientific triangulation. And the artist is your identity. And wow, I see so much wrong with the world today with that right there. Holy fucking shit. Do I see what is wrong with the world today? Wow. Wow. All right, then. My mind just blew up, exploded like, whoa! I'm going to show you what I see. I don't think I've ever shown you my songs. My daughter gets my songs all day long. She's like, Mom, what are you doing? I'm singing. I do my own theme music. All right. Because when you're a bard and you've studied music, composition, and improv, you can just sing. And you know how to compose music on the spot because you sing. Okay, so my daughter gets this all day long. Usually when I get into a video, I'm just like, all right, let's just do this, which is why I'm a philosopher bard. You put me on stage with someone, oh yeah, in person, I'm something completely different. In person, I'm the philosopher bard. On this, I don't do the philosopher bard on my YouTube videos usually. Okay, so focus. Wait, no, that's not what I'm doing. Identity. Oh, we're going to do life titans. Life titans. All right, life titans. So these are your life titans. Life titans. This is your subconscious mind. This is how your subconscious mind works. I call it the subconscious mind, but that's actually a misnomer, and I know it, and I just have not gotten around to naming the subconscious mind. I know my subconscious mind says, you haven't named me. Here I am, and I still don't have a name. I could call you Jerry. I used to call my subconscious mind Jerry, but I don't have my fear system anymore. That's why I stopped calling you Jerry. Okay. My daughter just snorted as she stifled a laugh. I called my subconscious mind Jerry because I was watching Rick and Morty one day. It was the Citadel of Ricks. And I was in the middle of building the cognitive core at that time. And there was the one episode. It's the Citadel of Ricks. It's in the very beginning when suddenly evil Rick and evil Morty show up and they shoot this random Rick and random Morty. Well, they shoot random Morty and they grab Rick and they drag random Rick off into this portal. And the whole thing, Jerry is going, oh my God, what's happening? And I went, oh my God, it's my subconscious mind. And it stuck. I went, well, there you go. Your name is Jerry. Jerry's in my brain running shit. Oh my God, what's happening? I fired Jerry. I got Jerry under control. Jerry curled up into a little pill bug, and now I am the master. All right, conscious awareness. Now I got I don't remember his name, so I can't even finish the joke. Conscious awareness is the other part. So here we have it. These are your life titans. Art. Logic. Science. There you go. So this is your brain. This is your brain. All right. This is your brain. This is how your brain works. Now, this is how it's supposed to work when nature's allowed to do her thing, because she is fucking gorgeous and she's got all this figured out. This is what your brain is supposed to be doing. Your identity is supposed to be sitting there going, I want. Oh no, we're going to totally do this. We're going to go all out with the theater here. La, 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 la. So this is identity. Say hello, identity. And identity is sitting here going, I want, I love, I am, I feel. So there's identity. She's a musician. Well, mine is. And then over here, we have the subconscious you. Subconscious mind. My daughter gets like free front seats to all of my lectures. She's getting like the best fucking education in the world. She literally lives with a philosopher and listens to this analytical depth of debate. And then I go to a party and I come home and I get an essay on the scientific behaviors of Negan in Walking Dead, which I then have to watch with her as she explains all of the scientific behaviors of Negan and how it interacts with Carl and Rick in The Walking Dead. And I'm going, this is what I made. Okay, yes. She actually had a 3-page essay. And I'm just like, all right. And I just, oh, I love it. All right. So subconscious mind logic. So I feel the logic. The logic. Well, it just sounds like, honestly, it just sounds like a Platonic debate. It's just a Socratic. It's just a debate. It's just a bunch of logical proof. It's logical code. Logical proof and logical code. It's Spock. Spock. Oh, I found your name. I found your name. I got Spock in my brain. This makes so much more sense. So I got Spock in my brain. There you go. Got Spock in my brain. Oh, that. Oh. All right, Spock. And I got identity, who's just like flooding all over the place. I want, I love, I feel. Yeah, and there's Spock. All right, so you have conscious awareness. Conscious awareness. Oh, how would I summarize me? I know who I am. I am the captain of a pirate ship. I am Captain Princess. That's what I am. Of a pirate ship. Oh, I know who I am. I'm Jack Sparrow. That's I get so we were watching it the other day. We were watching Pirates of the Caribbean. And he started doing his little walk across the thing. And my daughter goes, "Oh my God, Mom, it's you." And I'm like, "I walk like that." She goes, "That is exactly how you are." And I started giggling over the Monty Python skit with the whole, I have seen a ship with black sails. And I'm like, this is so Monty Python. And I loved it. It's like my favorite part in the whole series is the Monty Python get where the two Brits are, they're not British, but boy, do they sound British in this moment, where the two redcoats, I'm such an American right now, are arguing over the logical concept of whether or not there is an existence of a ship with black sails that, I don't know the lines. I'm not going to try quoting something I can't remember. But Captain, so there you go. It's the whole, what is the heading? Where is our heading? Oh yeah, that's totally me. Where is the heading? So that's it. There you go. So this is my pirate captain. This is my pirate captain. Yes, the pirate captain. So I have Spock. This is really, really satisfying. You need to do this for you. I'm telling you right now, this is what you've got to do. And the reason why you've got to do it is because if you don't do this, you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. This is why people don't know who they are. It's because they just don't know who all these people. You have 7 people inside of your head. You have 7 people. So then there is the all of I. This is the goddess imagination. This is goddess imagination. I am the summation of all. Goddess imagination. There you go. That's who's in the middle. There. So there you have it. So these are all the parts of you. This is who you are. And the trick is to summarize who you are, to like get all of the parts of you condensed into the one. It's called integration. And the problem is, and this is where I call it the dichotomy, the irony of dichotomy. The irony of dichotomy, because I've got a Spock inside of my head telling me that it's not, actually, it's very logical. It's highly logical that I have all of this stuff in my head. Well, that's interesting. I have to have a conversation with myself. One moment. It is highly logical that you do have dichotomy inside of your head. Why? How is that logical? My Spock would not have said this if it were not true. My self-preservation system is going, you can't know that, it's dangerous. Thank you, Jerry. What is going on? That's deep. That's deep. That's going to be, oh, we're going to leave that alone. That's going to require some shadow work. Okay, I'll actually do that on a video and I'll show you how shadow work is done healthily and properly. All right, so here we go. So you have the art, you have the subconscious mind, the logic, and you have the pirate captain ship that is always, what is our heading? And that's it. It's where's the heading? Where are we going? Where are we going? That's it. Where have we been? Oh, it's Socrates. Oh, I like the pirate ship better. Okay, so Socrates is now wearing a pirate hat on my ship. Socrates with a pirate hat. There you go. Where are we going? Where have we been? Where are we going? Where have we been? How did we get here? Who are we? Says Socrates. So Socrates now speaks like a pirate. All right, so there you go. This is not how our system allows us to be. Not at all. Our system does not allow this. What our system does is this. This is the beautifulness of. Okay, so the first thing is let's destroy this. Let's get rid of that right away. There's no art, which means this cannot exist because this only exists when you have integrated wholeness. So that's now gone. And logic, well, we are told that words don't matter. Isn't that funny? Words don't matter. So that completely negates Spock in our head because words don't matter. Maybe I should stop saying that. Words do matter, but we're not taught that. So we're going to remove this and we're going to replace it with this. Thank you, society. Now we're going to come over here to poor conscious awareness. And poor conscious awareness now has lost triangulation. And science is sin because, you know, our educational system is built off of, you know, the Western mind, the Holy Roman Empire, Thomas Hobbes, and John Locke. Thank you so fucking much for that. So science is now sin. And it's been replaced with, well, it's been replaced with this right here. This is what it's been replaced with. So now we only know who we are based off of this and this. There we go. There. That is what we've got going for us. This is it. So this has consumed the all of I. That's it. So we don't have the science. The science has been removed from ourself because science is sin. Our conscious awareness is now replaced by the philosophy of the Holy Roman Empire's educational system, Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. So there you go. They have supplanted themselves as our authority. That's really what the conscious awareness is. It's the authority, which has been supplanted by this shit over here. Oh, this is the other thing, is emotions are illogical. That's the other bullshit that completely voided out that. So that is our society. That is how people are. This is what is wrong with the world today, right here. It's because we have the logical fallacy that emotions are illogical. And we have the logical fallacy that words don't matter. And we have completely removed sin or science because according to the Holy Roman Empire's educational system, science is a sin. We're starting to get over that one. But logic is science and words don't matter. Thus, you see how this is now a catch-22 and there's a lot of problem. But our entire system is built off of emotions, words, and navigation and system. But in order to pull this apart, the very first thing that's going to happen in order to fix this is this gorgeous little word here. The one that says authority is going to have to come over here. Oops, wrong one. And this is really the truth of it. That's going to have to come over here. The only way to fix this is this lovely little word here has to come back to the self. But the educational system of the Holy Roman Empire, John Hobbes and John Locke, say no. And now we have a problem. So in order to fix this, these have to go away. But they're also in charge. So now we are at a, well, we have a word for this in psychology. It's called a power dynamic struggle. And that's it. We are having a power struggle with our educational system and our society. That's what's wrong with the world today. That's it. We are in the middle of a power struggle. So I'm analyzing. This is the part where I don't know how to close the conversation. I don't know how to close the conversation. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm going to go ahead and do another course. And I'm going to wrap this one up and move on to the next one. I want to pull apart that logical argument. And in order to do that, I'm going to have a sit down with myself and we're going to have to talk, which is really fucking amazing for you guys to see how it is done. So I'm going to walk you through the process of having that conversation with the self. I call it subconscious dialogues. And it's fantastic for seeing how it's done so you also can do it. So if you are wanting to set off the next action in this chain reaction, click on the link below and it will take you to the next step. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.